Yo guys, what's up? And welcome back to another video. So today I actually wanted to talk about one thing that I've found to be extremely important and a super useful tool. That being said, like unless you're doing something entrepreneurial or like you're trying to do something big with your life, like this really won't be that relevant for you. So I mean, if you're not in that like I guess bracket, if you're not looking to do something bigger that's going to require you to push yourself and sort of go for that next level, I would honestly just click away from this video because this really won't be valuable to you, to be honest with you. Anyway, like the way I learned about this was actually from one of my mentors who does around $150,000 per month at this point. And it's a thing that I actually struggled with a lot when I was actually getting started in business and especially in sales, because the thing about sales is that the highs are very high and the lows are very low, especially when you're starting out and when you haven't sort of gotten to know the game yet. Because you'll have days where you're making like 500 bucks, $1,000. I've had one day where I made like 2.5K in one day. And on those days, you honestly feel like the freaking man, like you feel like you're unstoppable. You feel like nothing can touch you, like you're just walking down the street with like extra swagger. And yeah, you just feel like a king, you know? And then a week later, you might go on a dry streak and you end up like not having a single sale, a single sale for a couple of days. And suddenly you feel like shit and you feel like the worst salesperson ever, and your confidence just goes to zero. And that's at least something that would happen to me. And it's it's solved by this one thing, and it's actually just training your emotional like keel, right? You don't want your highs to get too high, and you don't want your lows to get too low. And one thing that I also noticed once I was sort of in those lows is I would become like driven by emotional decisions. And if I would feel bad, it would be harder for me to like watch a call review, or it would be harder for me to like jump on a coaching call and get some help and some feedback, because I just honestly didn't feel like it. And the problem with that is because of that, I would push myself down. I would have a lot of negative self-talk that would obviously then lead to another day of feeling bad and another day of like not doing what I needed to do to improve and get ahead in my career. And what I realized after talking to my mentor is, as humans, we're not perfect. We can't expect ourselves to have 10 out of 10 days every single day, 365 days per year. It's just not feasible, right? And the example that he gave me was like out of a 10-day scale, he'll have 4 days where he feels bad. He doesn't feel like he's having any progress. He almost feels like he's going backwards in his career. Then he'll have another 4 days or 3 days, for example, where he feels like everything's okay, like he's making slow but steady progress. And then he'll have like one day where he feels like things are going good, and then he'll have like one day where he feels like things are going great. But the key is obviously to not get too stuck up on neither the bad days nor the good days. Because if you have super high like emotional peaks when things are going good, you're bound to have super low emotional lows when things are not going the exact same way that you want them to. And because you hit those lows, it's just going to be harder to take action and harder to actually do something and continue progressing and sort of getting yourself out of that rut, right? So what I found to actually work best in these situations is honestly just to, one, be aware of what's actually going on. It's completely normal, especially when you're young and you haven't really like been in the game for too long. You haven't really realized that just like mastering this and like mastering the emotional side of yourself is a huge part of developing yourself as a human being, especially in business where you're so prone to having to do stuff in spite of how you're feeling, right? And not only that, but also meditating and becoming more aware of your emotional state, your inner thoughts, and just like not necessarily identifying yourself with your emotional state and with your thoughts, right? Because it's super simple for us as humans to almost fall into like a popcorn state where you'll be sitting on the couch and it's like, oh, I need some water, or I need some Coca-Cola. And then you go get some Coca-Cola, you sit back down, oh, let's watch a YouTube video. And then you go and watch a YouTube video. And then that YouTube video is done and oh, we'll go watch another YouTube video. Like I've done this several times myself as well. That's why I know and I'm aware of how it goes on. And it's not like I'm perfect, you know, like I still do this every once in a while, even till this day. But just like raising the awareness about it is the first step towards mastering it. And so I hope that those two things will really help you out. Just like being aware of it, knowing it's a part of the game, and starting to meditate so you can start gaining more emotional like insight into yourself, and like being more present with your thoughts and your emotional with your emotions at the end of the day. So yeah, I hope this video found you well. Hopefully you got something out of it, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Ciao.